welcome to the Descriptivists. This is a podcast about language, literacy, and linguistics. In each episode, we'll discuss a scholarly article and offer our insights on it. I'm your host, Michael Mounty. The idea for this podcast came from my experience in graduate school. I earned my PhD in 2016 from Purdue University in English education with a focus on educational linguistics. Grad school was a really wonderful, stimulating experience, and I missed the discussions we would have about the research we were reading. I always thought those conversations were really interesting and definitely worth sharing. And turning that grad school conversation into a podcast, of course, that's not a new idea. I drew my inspiration from Partially Examined Life, which has a similar format and premise, but where Partially Examined Life tackles philosophy as their topic of discussion, this podcast will focus on language, literacy, and linguistics. That field of study has always been fascinating to me. When I was younger, I loved to work with words, writing poetry and short stories. And as I got older, I started teaching writing, and I got interested in understanding how and why language worked from a more scientific perspective. In graduate school, I was trained as a linguist, and I learned about descriptivism, which is what inspired the name of this podcast. So descriptivism, if you don't know, is an approach to language that says basically we're going to look at language as it is and not as how some people think it should be. It recognizes that language is a product of human minds, and the structure of language can go in lots of different directions, and that's why we have so many languages and so many dialects of languages. So appreciating the diversity of human language is one of the key goals of this podcast. This podcast kind of serves as a creative outlet for me and my colleagues. It's just fun to make something together and share it with others. So we plan to record as our schedules allow, and you can expect episodes to come out periodically. We hope the conversations are enlightening and interesting to our audience. And if you have any feedback or questions, you can contact the podcast at descriptivistspod@gmail.com. That's descriptivists with an S, pod @gmail.com. And if you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe for new episodes. Thanks for listening.